I'm Muslim, I'm a Somalilander born in London, I support Palestine, and I'm about to explain why Israel recognizing Somaliland is qadr of Allah, and why you need to care more about the truth than your timeline's opinion. So let me get right into it. Firstly, I'll explain why it is okay. Then I'll get to why it's the qadr of Allah. Then I'll re-explain what Somaliland is, as many are confused. And then I'll get to the hypocrisy of the Arab nations. Firstly, recognition is not endorsement. Diplomatic recognition doesn't mean you agree with all of the policies of that nation that's recognized you. When a country recognizes you, you're not signing off on everything they've ever done. I mean, Somaliland is not getting into a military alliance. We're not endorsing Israelis' policy towards Palestinians. We're simply getting recognized for what we built over 34 years. Think about it. Does recognizing the USA mean you endorse the Iraqi war? It's complete and utter bullshit. Recognition simply means you exist as a sovereign state. It's not a moral endorsement of every policy. Secondly, Somaliland's already tried to do it the moral way. We've waited for Muslim countries, African Union, United Nations. What was the result? Just complete stagnation. We can't wait for countries to help us forever when these countries don't want to help us, and I will get on to that later on in this video. Thirdly, recognition creates momentum. Like anything you want to achieve in life, you need that momentum, and that first bit is the hardest. Israel has done that for us. Now the UAE can follow, the USA can follow, the UK can follow. You need someone with a bit of a guts to do it first, and Israel showed that they have the guts at the moment. You see, waiting another 34 years just hoping for the perfect country that aligns with Somaliland's moral compass to recognize us is just not realistic. This is just politics and how it works. Fourth reason why it is okay is because Somaliland's responsibility is to its own people. Somaliland's duty is to secure their sovereignty, to protect their citizens, and to build their economy. It's not to play regional politics for a region that we're not a part of. It's not to think about how we're going to make everybody comfortable. For 34 years, we put everyone's feelings first. Correct? We waited for approval, and where did that get us? Nowhere. The reality is, politics is not about purity, it's about results. And we got the results. We built a functioning state. We maintained peace for 34 years. And now we deserve recognition, and Israel gave it. And that's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And it opens doors we've been locked out for decades. So let me move on to why this is the qadr of Allah. I know some of you are thinking, but it's Israel and blah blah. Listen to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to say. And it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you like a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows best, but you do not know. Everyone likes to go on like they know. But Allah knows, and you do not know. What we do know is that this has happened. And this is what this ayah says and means for our situations. For 34 years, Muslim countries didn't recognize. Was this Allah's plan? Yes. It forced us to build ourselves. No dependency, no foreign control, no strings attached, no debt traps. You see, we built genuine capacity because we had no choice. Israel will recognize us first. Is that Allah's plan? Also, yes. Why? Because Israel is the only nation on earth that could break the dam. They are the only ones that have the guts and the no fucks given to completely ignore international law. And now other countries can follow. The dominoes are falling and the momentum has started. You see, sometimes Allah uses unexpected means to bring about His will. Just think about Islamic history. Musa alayhi was raised in Pharaoh's house, the very tyrant he would confront. Yusuf rose to power under a non-Muslim king. The early Muslims found refuge with a Christian king in Indonesia when their own Arab tribes persecuted them. Allah doesn't need perfect circumstances. He uses whatever means He wills to bring about justice. The recognition isn't from Israel. The recognition is from Allah's plan unfolding. And if you believe in Qadr, if you are a Muslim, you understand this principle. Supporting Somaliland doesn't mean opposing Palestine. Both people's self-determination, both deserve sovereignty. These aren't mutually exclusive. I'm free Palestine and free Somaliland, and there is no reason why you can't be too. Talking about Somaliland, let's explain Somaliland. Somaliland firstly has been independent for 34 years. Democratic elections, peaceful power transfers, own currency and passports, functioning military, stable borders that we control, zero terrorism and no Al-Shabaab. Somaliland doesn't mean Somalia. Somalia, clan warfare. Al-Shabaab controls territory till this day and it has a fractured government. We're not separatists. We've been an independent functioning state for over 3 decades, and that's why the things that are going on in Somalia is not going on in Somaliland. You see, in Somaliland we've built Apple Pay nearly 2 decades ago. SARD and mobile payments have been working successfully since 2009. Can you believe that we had fibre before the UK had fibre? Modern fibre optic infrastructure, home-built. Telesom and Somtel, homegrown, billion-dollar companies. Everything Somaliland built was built brick by brick with its own hands. And they did this all with zero international recognition, no World Bank loans, no IMF handouts, no seat at the UN, just Somaliland building a country from scratch. Now let's move on to the hypocrisy. The question is, from every country in the world, is how could you accept recognition from Israel? But my question to them is, where were they for the last 34 years? Where was Egypt? Where was Turkey? Where was Saudi Arabia? Where was the entire Arab League? And where the hell was the African Union? They watched us build a democracy. They watched us maintain peace. They watched us peacefully hand over power many times and did nothing. And now they're condemning it? They're condemning recognition being given to us? Let's go through each Condemnation. Let's go through a few of them. We can't go through all of them. Let's go through Egypt first. Egypt. Why are Egypt hypocrites? Well, literally just last week, Egypt signed a 35 billion energy deal with Israel. They do massive business with Israel, but they condemn us for being recognized by Israel. The audacity. Let's move on to Turkey. Turkey might be the biggest fake ally in the world. You see, Erdogan does 2.86 billion in trade with Israel every year, but then condemns them for recognizing us. This is pure theatre. Let me tell you Turkey's real game in the Horn of Africa. I'm going to have to do a full YouTube on Turkey. But for now, Turkey's Horn of Africa monopoly, they have military bases in Somalia, port operations. They train Somali troops on the ground, economic contracts worth billions. They position themselves as the Muslim protector. But let's look at Somalia. Somalia is still fractured. Al-Shabaab still controls big territory. There's still clan division and there's almost no progress. Why? Because Turkey benefits from the chaos. You see, Turkey has built a monopoly in the Horn of Africa. And Turkey wants Somalia weak to continue this monopoly. Turkey benefits from the chaos. A strong unified Somalia equals independent partner. What good is an independent partner? For Turkey, they want a weak, dependent Somalia. You see, if Turkey really wanted Somalia to succeed, they'd help them eliminate Al-Shabaab. They'd explain to Somalia that Somaliland's already left you 34 years ago. Move on and focus on having real, genuine institutions. Focus on solving Somali clan conflicts in Somalia. But instead, they keep Somalia dependent. They extract influence and contracts. They maintain a protector narrative, and they oppose anything that threatens a monopoly. A recognized Somaliland means Turkey monopoly breaks. The influence splits between two stable states they can't control. That's what they're afraid of. Erdogan talks about Muslim solidarity while trading billions with Israel, keeping Somalia weak for Turkish benefit, and opposing Somaliland's recognition to protect their regional monopoly. Real allies help you succeed. Fake allies keep you dependent. Turkey is a parasite, not a partner. Let's move on to Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, and it's the same pattern. They work with Israel quietly, but then condemn us publicly. A lot of them fear self-determination president because of their own dictator mentality they have in their own states. They have oppressed minorities in their states. Let's move on to the African Union. The African Union maintains colonial borders that were literally drawn by Europeans to divide ethnic groups and extract resources. When they talk about territorial integrity, they mean we refuse to admit these colonial borders were designed to keep Africa weak and divided. They'd rather keep the broken system than admit it failed. Iran and Pakistan, that's just pure anti-Israel reflex. Anything Israel do, they're against it. They have zero knowledge of the Horn of Africa, zero investment in Somalia's success, zero care about Somaliland's reality. They just automatically oppose anything Israel does. Listen, Somaliland, we waited and they gave us nothing. Whilst they work with Israel themselves, whilst they make trade deals themselves, whilst they want us to be weak so they can benefit from Somalia, they want to control the water and regional control. You see, Somaliland didn't ask permission to exist. We built a country first, then asked for recognition. Most places do it backwards and fail. 34 years of democracy, zero terrorism, functioning state, we earned recognition. Alhamdulillah, Allah's plan is unfolding. This is not our plan. This is Allah's plan. And if you support self-determination as a principle, you support Somaliland. If you only support it when it's politically convenient, you don't actually believe in the principle. You see, 2026 is going to be massive. I can see the UAE being next, then the USA, then the UK. The world is finally catching up to what we've known for 34 years. Guys, drop your Somaliland flag in the comments if you support our independence and tell me what country you think will recognize us next.